what is up, everybody? It is Aiden McNally. You guys know me. I'm the president of Wealth Strategy Media, also the co-founder of the nonprofit organization Relief Alliance. I have an amazing co-host with me today, who is also my father. We run all of our businesses together. This is also our TV show, so I'll let him introduce himself. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Hey, everybody. I'm Jeremy McNally, Dr. Jeremy McNally. Looking forward to interviewing who we have on today. So that's going to be great. But yeah, thanks for the intro, Aiden.
Yeah, 100%. I'm excited for today's episode. We actually met this guy at a Rain World event. Industry Mixer was awesome. Shout out to Rain World event. Shout out to Naeem Rain. You're awesome for inviting us out. But a lot of big things are coming for Wealth Strategy Media and Relief Line. So, I'll let you elaborate on some stuff we got going on, guys, because this is insane. And I promise you want to tune into what we're doing. So
yeah. So I mean, like most of you know, most of you that follow us know is my son and I, we started a nonprofit called the Relief Alliance, and that's we provide emergency assistance to the homeless in the form of food, clothes, hygiene products, survival related supplies, temporary shelter, etc. We also have rehabilitation programs. This is where we teach life skills, provide opportunities, volunteer opportunities, job opportunities, other types of opportunities. And we also empower youth. And one of our most successful programs is a TV show that we have called Teen X. And it's a show for youth, and it's led by youth. Our youth, they go and we get them into exclusive events like red carpet celebrity events and, behind the scenes on Hollywood sets, music videos. And they're interviewing celebrities and asking them questions that other youth might like to know. But in that process, we learned pretty fast that you just can't do this type of work alone. It takes a whole village to really make a dent in the communities that we serve. And, our name kind of spells it out. We learned that after the fact that Alliance, we were on our own when we first started. So we just kind of fell in line with what our name actually meant, and we built an alliance because, again, we realized we couldn't do it alone. So we built an alliance of other nonprofit organizations, peace institutions, the domestic international NGOs, and United Nations affiliated agencies, and celebrities, influencers, film producers, actors, models. The list goes on. We have built a really large alliance, and with the goal of supporting each other, uplifting each other, pooling resources where necessary. And that's a really big deal for us because a lot of nonprofits fail within the first year. And if we can do anything to help improve those odds, that's going to be a big win for us and our goals. It's not just our mission that we're serving. We want to help others do that as well. A couple big things that are coming up. I know you kind of mentioned that, Aiden. We're going to be launching a fellowship come March, and that's the game plan anyway. If there's no other delays, it will be March. We're going to be bringing 4,000 plus nonprofit organizations, peace institutions, UN affiliated agencies to the table once a month to communicate and build connections with each other. Nonprofits fail in the first year. A lot of them do because they don't have the resources. A lot of donations aren't trickling in. It's just it's a multi-factor thing, right? In terms of why these nonprofits may fail, and building that kind of community, it's meant to connect resources with other like-minded resources and work together to recruit volunteers, raise money, learn from each other, and so on. So that's going to be a really cool program to stay tuned for. And then the other big thing is as a lot of my son and I, we're ambassadors for peace, affiliated with the United Nations through the Universal Peace Federation. We nominate for appointment the next international ambassadors for peace. We've nominated many already, and we have a peace gala coming up to where we're nominating more, and they will be appointed. But in a nutshell, we're bringing extraordinary people together that do extraordinary things in their communities. They're uplifting other people. They're serving their communities in a variety of different ways, big ways. And that's who we're bringing to the Peace Gala. It's going to be in a $40-50 million mansion, exclusive. It's very exclusive, very private. Of gourmet food, celebrity performances, other performances, supercars parked out front, valet, security. It's going to be a really great event. And it's going to be a room filled with high net worth individuals. Stay tuned for that. That's going to be a huge deal. And we are going to be doing these events periodically, so stay tuned for that too. But totally come to our event if you want to connect with the right people.
100%. And if I can just, switch off of the topic, I want to go back a little bit to the nonprofit stuff because, talking about, giving back to people. I just want people to know who are watching that you don't need, all this money. You don't need to be a nonprofit organization like us. You don't need to have all these connections. You can just go out and make a difference. Say you're on the way to work. Instead of stopping at Starbucks and getting a drink for yourself, go somewhere else and get water, get food for these people sitting on the street, especially around here in Orlando. Like on my computer, I just saw in the notification, there's a freeze watch going on. And these people around here aren't used to the cold. We come from New Hampshire and I'm standing outside here in Florida and I'm in like snow pants, a big jacket. So like these people, they need blankets, they need jackets, they need clothing. If you guys actually go to our Relief Alliance page on Instagram, you'll see just last week we were handing out a bunch of clothing with Ruben Delgado. He's on our board. He's also the founder of It's Go Time. So you'll see that stuff. That's the type of stuff we do. So get involved, especially if you're around the Orlando area. You can get involved directly with us. We have other outreaches at other places. But if you want to, get involved with me and my dad and, come out with us, learn more from us, definitely feel free to reach out to us. Go to our pages and send us a text. So 100%. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited for today's guest. I talked to him a little bit at the event. I'm excited for him to introduce himself, learn more about him. I'm actually pretty sure I got a short interview with him. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true, but that might be coming out soon. But yeah, is there anything else you want to mention before we go into this commercial break?
No. I'm just looking forward to interviewing DJ Rad. You're going to hear some really cool stuff today, what he does, how he got to where he's gotten. It's going to be a cool interview. So let's do it, Aiden.
100%. Before we go, everyone check out his Instagram. It's right on the screen right there. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. Just go follow his Instagram, go like all of his posts, and stay tuned to what he is doing. But with that, we will see you guys in a couple minutes after this quick commercial break. So we'll see you guys very soon.
When disaster strikes, it doesn't just take homes. It takes safety and it takes hope.
Aiden and I, we've stood side by side with families that have lost everything in one moment and became homeless. All it takes is one act of kindness to change everything for them.
And that's why me and my dad started Relief Alliance, to help individuals overcome their toughest moments.
But we can't do it alone. There's families out there right now that need your help.
And for the price of 2 cups of coffee, you can provide a family food, clothes, water, and shelter every single month. Donate today at reliefalliance.org.
That's reliefalliance.org. Please be the hope that a family needs tomorrow.
Thank you.
Most people believe that software starts with code. No, it doesn't. It starts with an idea that actually makes sense. And this is McNally software. We take your real ideas and turn them into real products, not those silly templates nor shortcuts. So if you're working on building something serious, you need software that scales with you, not something you'll have to rebuild every 6 months. If you've been sitting on an idea or you're tired of tools that don't fit for you, go with McNally software. And the best part is a percentage of every software project we do goes directly toward Relief Alliance's mission for homeless rehabilitation and youth development. McNally software. Build your reality today. Awesome. What is up, everybody? You just saw our 2 commercials. You just saw our McNally software commercial and a Relief Alliance commercial. So go check out our 2 companies. Those are amazing. But before we get into our guest, I just want to say go follow on our social medias, Relief Alliance and World Strategy Media. Each follow, each like. It does help boost our algorithm and just helps us reach more people. So with that, DJ Rad, welcome here, man. How are you doing today?
How you doing?
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
100%. Definitely, man. So feel free to introduce yourself. Tell everyone a little about who you are and how you got into this industry.
Yeah, my name is DJ Rad. I'm from Queens, New York.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been in the industry for a very long time, since 1995. I should say, like, officially in the music. You know, I started real young. You know, I started as a DJ, a show DJ, basically doing live performances for artists that were coming up in my area. And from there, I got into music production and started learning music production, going to various studios.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like producers that are from my neighborhood that were there to inspire. And luckily enough, I was, you know, nice enough to, you know my skills in DJing and be interested in learning more. And they kind of like brought me under their wing. So with big records that they were producing, I was able to sit there and absorb everything like a sponge, you know.
Dude,
and
that's crazy. That's
learned
awesome.
Enough and started my own, team after that.
Huh, man, that's sick. And if I can, I know my dad has some questions, but if I can point back in, you said you said the 1970s?
No, 1995.
1995. I was gonna say, okay, but yeah, what do you think? What do you think is the difference from starting then and now? Like, how has social media changed the game?
Okay, so back then it was mostly word of mouth, a lot of word of mouth, and you had to do more groundwork back then. You had to have more legwork. You had to promote more. You had to be in places more. You had to really touch people more, to network. Social media has made it easier where you could like reach out to various people from far, areas. It's much simpler now than it was before. It helps out a lot. It does help out a lot because if you're from one region and you're trying to get to another region but not able to get there, now it's at the push of a button,
Exactly. Instead
So
of like the newspapers down in the Queens, they're not going to travel out to Los Angeles. So,
Exactly.
That's awesome though, man. That's crazy you came over that though, like especially without technology. I'm lucky to be born in the times where we had all this technology. I got this chat GPT, so
Yeah.
I was born a pro at it. So yeah, awesome. Well, my dad, I'll let him ask some questions.
Yeah, so I'm curious. You mentioned you went from being a DJ to a producer, and that's a pretty big step. What was the hardest part of transitioning to doing that? Just for the listeners that might be trying to do the same thing one day. We have a lot of youth that watch because we run our nonprofit and we have youth programs, so we have a lot of people that would be interested in hearing your perspective.
So DJing and producing is basically the same street, but it's just one is northbound, the other one is southbound, but it's the same street. So you basically have to know music, and with DJing, you have to learn different genres of music. You have to understand tempo, when to bring in certain songs to the mix. That helps with music production because you already have a knowledge of music. So now when you're creating, BPMs, beat per minutes, how fast you want the tempo to be, what instruments. From listening to so many records, you learn so many instruments by hearing different songs. So now you know what instruments to use when you're creating your own material as well, and it's basically not hard, going from DJing to producing, because it's all about knowing the music, knowing sequence, knowing how to blend certain instruments where you could layer tracks. So if you have a drum track, if you're producing and you want to add a guitar or a horn, you already know how to layer what goes, what blends in with certain tones of like different instruments. So that helps out a lot, starting from DJ to being a producer. That's like a cheat code.
Man, that sounds like a college degree in itself.
And you have to learn
it's like you kind of need to.
You definitely have to learn the equipment, and it takes a lot of practice.
Dude, it's crazy because I see these videos like on Instagram where these people kind of like just freestyling these beats. Like I don't know how I would ever be able to like understand like okay this like sound is gonna go with this and this is gonna go with that because you're adding like layers on top of layers on top of layers on top of layers on top of layers.
Like a science.
Amazing stuff. It is. It really is.
Yeah.
So where do you get your inspiration for that? Like where does inspiration usually start for you? Like a beat, a melody, an emotion. Like where does it start?
It all depends on the mood that I'm in. I could start off with just a beat that I have in my head, and once I get to my drum machine or my software, I could just choose the sounds that I would like. and just play the pattern that's in my head. If it's a melody, I'll just play the melody out, save it, and then later on figure out what kind of drums go good with this sound. If it's like live drum sounds or electronic drums, you know, that's where you come to the point where mixing and layering comes, like the DJ skills now come into play now, you know, because now you know what sound goes good with certain drum sounds. So now you know where to start off at in the creative process of it, you know?
Yeah. So you're trying to bring in like your own
Genius,
artistic voice in that sense. So like, how do you balance then, like what the crowd loves, you know, with staying true to really your own artistic voice?
Yeah, so basically that helps out too, being a DJ and you playing records. You see what the crowd likes, what motivates the crowd, what gets the crowd moving. So now when you create your own, you still have to be original, but you could still follow that template. You know, okay, this tempo is what gets people moving and bouncing more. So I'm going to create at this tempo now, you know, and then from there you choose your sounds, you know what kind of like instruments people react to, you know, on certain songs, and you could just use that as a template to start your own original track.
That's awesome, man. I want to ask you about difficulties though. So difficulties, they come with any industry you've in. Like I've ran into so many. I've made millions of mistakes. What have you had anything that you've had to overcome that you were thinking like in the moment like this sucks, like I'm never gonna make it out of this, like what am I gonna do? Like have you ever had any moments like that you've had to experience?
Yeah, definitely. Everyone that's a producer, don't let them lie to you. Everybody goes through how would I say, like a little slump.
Yeah.
You know, where you just get a brain freeze. You can't create nothing. Nothing comes to mind. You're just like, oh man.
Like you're getting paid like $5,000. You're in the studio. Like.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh man, what do I do now? So you have to deal with that frustration when you get mind blocks, you know, and other things to come into play too, because even though it's music, it's still a business. So there's certain business aspects of things where they might not work in your favor at that time, and it kind of stresses you out. Being stressed basically affects the creative process as well. So you can't concentrate to really focus on what you're doing. So there's different things that you could run into roadblocks. I ran into roadblocks as far as with the business side of it. You know, being creative, that's the fun part. The business side is where you really have to be on point and savvy with things and have good representation as well. Also. So that kind of like hindered from the creative part of it. Once I started getting more into the business side, once I started like working with artists, it took a little bit of the fun out of it for a little while, and it stopped the production and the creative process of it. But that's just temporary, you know. But everybody goes through a little slump like that.
Definitely, man. So you mentioned.
Go ahead, man. Aiden.
Oh yeah, well I was just wondering. So you mentioned when you work with these artists, what's that like? Have you like you ran into any difficulties where you've gotten like just like pissed at these people where it's like there's hate in the beat you're putting together?
Well, no, because usually how I work with every producer works differently. But me, how I work with artists is I meet the artist, I find out exactly what they've been working on, what they have already. So that way, when I present stuff, it's different from everything that they have so far. So I want my stuff to stand out. So I kind of like bond with the artist that way. Okay, what kind of sound are you missing from your project that you're looking for? Maybe I could contribute to that. They give me their ideas, concepts of certain songs, and I create music around that title and the emotion of the song that they're creating. So for me, it's kind of like easy because I speak with the artist first. It's not like I give music to them and they have to pick and choose and, you know, come back and, oh, I don't like this sound, take this and out, take that one out. I already know exactly what they're looking for, so I could basically tailor make something for them.
Sick, dude. That's crazy. That's like some like genius stuff going on in your head, man.
Really, that's like, a lot, you know. Like I'm curious, like
earlier, like I was like a sponge back then. I learned from a lot of older producers who were working with artists, major artists, and I kind of was just in the studio, just watching and learning and, you know, picking their brain with certain questions and kind of like put that in my own routine of how I do things as well.
100%. Definitely, man. Hey, you always got to learn. Like, I've learned a lot from my dad too. Like, I'm just being a sponge about the stuff that he's done, all the bad experience he's gone through, all the good. So it's definitely awesome having like some type of mentors. But I know my dad has a question, but we got to go into a quick commercial break real quick. We're a little late for it, but see you guys in like 1 minute.
Are you tired of doing business the hard way? Is building your business taking too much time and energy? We can help. Introducing your ultimate solution, EasyWay Business Membership. We're a full-service digital marketing solution specializing in branding and marketing, advertising, and introductions to CEOs and influencers that can help your business thrive. Problem solved. Now you can hire our award-winning team to work for your business. We've received many prestigious awards, including the Digital Trailblazer Award by Hollywood Weekly magazine, and we've been recognized by Congress. For just $11 a day, you'll get more exposure, reach more clients by next month, guaranteed. Here's how it works. You pay one low annual fee of $4,000, and you'll receive consulting, branding, marketing, advertising, social media support, product placement, and business introductions to help your business grow exponentially. And if you need more, we offer SEO, commercials, TV exposure, and much more for an additional rate. To recap, for just $11 a day annual membership fee, you'll receive branding, consulting, business-to-business introductions, advertising, and social media support. But don't take our word for it. Here's what our customers say.
We've been working with EasyWay, Eric, for the last 6 months, and literally we are slammed with work for 2 months straight, so his marketing definitely works.
To learn more, visit EasyWayNetwork.com or contact us at 877-399-2929. And don't forget to follow us on social media. On Facebook at EasyWay Network, Twitter at EasyWay Broadcast, and YouTube at EasyWay TV.
Awesome. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Wealth Strategy Media TV. Today is being an awesome episode. We have DJ Rad right here today, so I'll let my dad go. I know he has some great questions, so yeah, go for it.
Well, yeah. So I'm actually really curious. So you had to have a big break somewhere, you know, like tell us about your successes, man, and like how you even got to where you are, because you're a successful DJ, producer, and you know you're clearly good at what you do. We've heard a lot of your stuff, and man, like what was your big break, and tell us just about some of the successes you've had.
Okay, big break. I say my first single was an underground single. One of my mentors had basically connected me with one of his groups. They were on Polygram Records at the time, a group by the name of Gangstar. And it was DJ Premier and Guru, rest in peace, was the rapper. And through them, they introduced me to their acts. They had a couple of acts that were under them as well that had record deals. And one of them was a rap group called Group Home, and they had good success, you know, at that time, and they had me work with them. So I started doing a lot of their underground singles, their promo singles that got a lot of radio play at that time on the radio station in New York, Hot 97 and 107.5 WBLS. And I started working with them, being their tour DJ. Started traveling all over with them. You know, they took me on tours. I've been on a lot of tours with them and with Gangstar. We've toured with artists like Cypress Hill, Black Eyed Peas, Busta Rhymes and Flip Mode.
That's crazy.
Who else we toured? Maya. At the time, we've toured a lot of groups. We went to Europe a lot of times, Asia. We basically toured a lot of Europe also. And then the biggest commercial record that I worked on was with 50 Cent. You know, I did a song with him on his demo prior to him getting the record deal with Dr. Dre and Eminem. We're all from the same neighborhood, you know, and so word of mouth, he heard about me working with other artists, and at the time he was working with his own material at that time, trying to come in the industry. So I did like 2-3 songs with him, and he always said, whenever I get a deal, I'm gonna come back and get you, and we're gonna do a song for real. And, you know, years went by. We stayed in contact. I seen him in the neighborhood. You know, he was doing this thing. And when the opportunity presented himself, when he got the deal with Eminem and Dre, and that's when I got the call. He said, I got the deal. That song that we demoed like a few years back, we're going to redo it over. And can you remake the beat? And I remade the beat, and we dropped it, and it made the album. And that was the biggest album I was on ever.
That's insane, man. You guys still stay in touch?
Here and there, you know, because like a lot of things had happened around our neighborhood, you know, with a lot of different people. So it's basically like we're cool, but everybody's not in touch with each other like how they used to be before. You know, everybody has different responsibilities now. Everybody has different, you know, different things they're doing. But if we see each other, it's all love. You know, it's all love. Because I knew him from before the deal.
That sounds like high school. You know, you get out of high school, you don't talk to anybody anymore, different responsibilities. Yeah.
Exactly. But my neighborhood, and he had a lot of, you know, inspiration too, because where we're from in Queens, it's basically like, it's like the who's who, basically, in the music hip hop world, basically. We had so many idols coming up that we could actually talk to and touch and see every day. You know, Salt and Pepper, Run DMC, LL Cool J, all these guys grew up around our neighborhood. Lost Boys, you know, so many people. The video directors, Hype Williams, he was a big video director. He directed hundreds of videos from the 90s into the early 2000s. If most of the videos will say Hype Williams, you know, and he's from our neighborhood. And, you know, you could not get, you know, not have some type of bug that bit you, either DJs, producer, actor, or, you know, clothing, you know, clothes and sales, and so many people. And we just got the bug, you know, and Jam Master Jay was 50 Cent's bug from Run DMC that got with him and him on.
Dude, that's crazy.
That is nuts, man. Like that's a big deal. You've accomplished a lot.
Yeah.
And now you're here in Florida. So I know we're running short on time, but I really want to know, like, what are your future goals? Like, what are you looking to do? What could you use help with? You know, even how could we you know, collaborate? You know, for our listeners.
So I moved to Florida not too long ago, and being here, you know, I'm not really familiar with the region and territory, but I'm just going with the flow. So far, you know, I set up a mini pre-production studio where I teach kids software for beat making and how to make their own beats as well.
That's sick. We're gonna talk after this, man. That's awesome.
And I linked up with a tech company here that has like different schools here called Code Ninjas. And I was working with Code Ninjas for a few months. We were basically teaching a lot of their students, you know, the beat making software, because they were doing a lot of programming at the time. They were making their own video games. They were teaching the kids how to do certain things in that field. And I came up with the idea, hey, being that they're doing programming for video games and they're doing their own content, I could have them learn the beat making software where that they can create their own background music for different scenes and menus and the games that they're creating, one. And also they'll be able to do sound design. So if they're not into music, they'll be able to make their own little sounds, so that they'll be able to use those sounds that they make for their games, or like, you know, different sound effects. Let's say a door shut, they could make a screech sound, or a sound of a door slamming, or, you know, a spaceship sound that's flying by. Like, we teach them sound design also, if they're not into making music and beats as well.
I love that you're doing that with the youth. You know, we work a lot with youth, and we our whole thing is about youth empowerment. You know, and that what you're doing is such important work. And I'd love to talk to you more, you know, after this about how we could potentially come together. And by the way, I love what you do anyway. We, like I was saying earlier, we do a lot of events. You know, I'm sure there's a way we could could do a lot of stuff together, man. Just impact a lot of lives.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Definitely.
Aiden, you got anything you want to?
Yeah, 100%. So people, as you can see, he is a very experienced in what he does. DJ Rad, where can people find you? I know I put your Instagram up on the screen multiple times throughout the thing, but are there any other places that people can find you if they want to, hire you on?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram as well, and also on Facebook, DJ Rad as well, aka Radnificent.
Awesome, man.
And right now I'm just setting up everything for the beat club for the kids. So right now I'm in the process of setting up the website, so that way we can have like people come and see exactly on the site what we're doing with the kids. We're gonna have like video clips of like the kids making their beats and them working. So that's in the making right now. But right now you can find me on Instagram and on Facebook as well. Also,
man, well, you guys heard him there. I seriously appreciate you coming on here today. You're a great guest. I learned a lot from you. You have a lot of experience, and I look forward to staying in touch, especially what you do with the kids. That's very honorable. I appreciate you using all those experiences you've gained for the past amount of years that you've been doing this to give back, man. So that's awesome, and that's what we're all about. So DJ Rad, it was awesome having you on here totoday. I'll let my dad, end this off.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for jumping on, and looking forward to staying, bro. It's good meeting you too.
Awesome. Well, you guys heard DJ Rad. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. It was so amazing having him on today. My dad, he might have something to say, so I'll let him say goodbye to you guys. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Go follow Welsh Strategy Media on all social medias. Go follow Relief Alliance on all social medias. Also, go follow McNally Software on all social medias, because every single follow, every single like, every single comment helps boost our algorithm and helps us reach more people. So I love you guys, and thank you for watching today's episode.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Aiden, awesome job today. We got some awesome interviews coming up. Stay tuned. Really high profile people that have done some insane stuff in their careers. The information they can shed light on is going to be incredibly valuable to hear. But yeah, thanks again to DJ Rad. Find him on Facebook, Instagram under DJ Rad. DJ Rad. But yeah, see you guys next time. Thank you.